My name's Christina McHale, and thank you for joining us for this special Justice Clearinghouse webinar where we're going to continue taking your questions about understanding the younger generations in the workplace, especially Generation Z. Today's recording is a continuation of our earlier live webinar with Brenda Dietzman. Based on your overwhelming response, we're going to continue answering the questions that were already sent in for that Ask Me Anything. If you have any questions after this recording, you can always visit us at justiceclearinghouse.com, and Brenda will also have her contact information on the very last slide of this presentation as well. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe and click on the bell on this YouTube video channel so that we can be notifying you as we release more webinars for you. Well, Brenda, welcome back. Let's jump right into that first question.
Oh my goodness, thanks so much, Kristen. And yes, we have had overwhelming. I think that when that webinar announcement came out, we ended up getting like 70 questions, 70 plus questions,
Like in
right?
the first day,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was absolutely amazing. And then it was so great because then during the presentation, which was actually just, and I know that this is taped, but earlier this week, we got even more questions that were asked. And then the webinar survey, people even put more questions in. So it's like there's this overwhelming amount of just, and it's encouraging, right? Because
Right,
the people are actually wanting to work better together
exactly.
and understand each other. And I think that, that whole idea of communication and just understanding how we all tick can really
Hmm.
make for a better workplace, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes. So yeah, I've got a lot of great questions. We're going to jump in here, and Chris, I hope you jump in. You have a wealth of information on this as well. So I want you to jump in and please give your insight into this because that's just going to add to it. So, all right, let's just get going because we want to get to the good stuff here. So the very first question that we're going to talk about is this: my younger employees don't ask questions on assignments despite always making mistakes and being coached on them, right? How can I best provide feedback in a way they understand? So this is a great question, right? So the first thing, I'm just going to say this, right? They could be lazy or they just don't care. This is something that, and it's going to come up quite a bit during this little conversation that we're having today. There are just lazy people in this world and people who just don't care. So keep that in mind as you supervise folks. Um, if they are potentially engaged or they are good people, they are good employees, maybe no one's listening to them. Maybe no one's encouraging them. So I have this feeling that the supervisors, it's either their way or the highway type thing. So they're just gonna keep their head down, do their job, and not do anything crazy. So that might be something that is holding people up in this area. And also, as a result of that, they might wait to receive the feedback or the coaching instead of approaching supervision because um, it's not supervision in this situation isn't approachable. So that might be some of the hurdles that you're facing here. Also, one of the things that our generation, and I'm a Gen Xer, almost a baby boomer, but I'm a Gen Xer. We made fun of the millennials when they came into the workforce, and as well as Gen Z, they come in and they got all these ideas and they're all excited about everything. Um, yeah, we make fun of them for that because it's like, you've been on the job since Tuesday and you think you could come in and run this place, or you got all these ideas. You got to learn how to do your job first, type thing, before you start getting crazy with the ideas. Yeah, that makes people shut down, especially these younger generations. And again, they end up just doing the work to get the paycheck as a result of that. So don't make fun of these folks. I think it's great that they come in and they want to improve the organization and make the professions better that we're all in. So that's a big thing here. So also, here's some action items behind this. Always explain the why and the purpose behind what you're telling folks to do. Ask if they have questions on a regular basis. Jump in ahead of time. Check in with them on a regular basis because the younger generations, they've always had an authority figure present in their life. Think about the amount of structured, things that they do, as opposed to when I was a kid, you know, we came home when the street lights came on. But these kids, they're structured activities, and when you have structured activities, you're gonna have an adult or an authority figure present. So that's what they're used to. So check in on a regular basis with them. Try to anticipate questions and problems that are out there. Um, ask them if they want you to show them how to do things. They live in a YouTube generation. I know I've heard people talk about, you know, their kid broke down, they had a flat tire. And what they did is they didn't know how to change a flat tire, but they just looked it up on YouTube, right there on the side of the road, and then they changed their tire, right? So this is something that they do. So maybe doing a video or something like that might be a great idea. And then learn the difference between a forgiveness and a permission, decision, or action. And I think that this is one really important thing that we do. Um, the younger generations becoming supervisors at a much younger age, less life and work experience than what we had, and it's no fault of theirs. And some of them can overcome that, just because they put themselves in a bunch of situations where they gain a bunch of experience. But in general, they don't have the life or work experience than what we did when we became supervisors. So we really have to let them fail at a lower level, and make mistakes. And so the difference between a forgiveness or permission decision or action is basically, if you do something and I can forgive you for doing that, and I'm not going to end up on the national news tomorrow because of your mistake, then, you know, let them do that. Let them struggle a little bit to get that experience. But on the flip side of that, if it's a permission-based decision, that I absolutely need to come in and help make that decision so I don't get them in trouble or the organization in trouble, yeah, then please call me and let's have a conversation about that. So let them learn through mistakes, and give them assignments that have consequences for others, right? Not just themselves. So you got
Well,
anything to add, Chris?
isn't this also about taking that enthusiasm and that energy and channeling it as a leader? I mean, capturing and harnessing their enthusiasm for the job and their excitement that they're brand new and they've got all these great ideas and they've got all this energy, and helping them channel it for the good of the organization.
Yeah, I think that's a great thing. And again, we make fun of them for doing that, but it's
But it can
it's
be
actually
good.
it's actually yeah, it's awesome if you think about it. So yeah.
You know, you mentioned something, and I'm going to chime in here. We actually do something very similar to what you talked about here at Justice Clearinghouse. Um, I am technologically normal. I wouldn't say I'm an expert at a lot of things, and sometimes I have to go back and do tasks that I haven't done in 6 months. And so what we've started doing here internally and culturally is we create little YouTube or little videos, for lack of a better way of saying it, that show step by step by step by step, tick this box, don't forget to do this, don't forget to, you know, all the little tricks that we do in the back end of everything that we do here at Justice Clearinghouse. And then we all have access to this repository of videos internally, that when we have to upload a document or we have to change the settings on something, it's all right there. And so we don't
That's
always have to go back to Aaron and bug him about, how do I do that again? Or what did you mean when you said? And we can just basically go back to that video and start from there. And then if we still need his input, we can still go back and get his assistance. Brenda, you said something also that I wanted to capture here while we were still here. Uh, isn't it a good thing as a leader to have the self-awareness to sometimes take a step back and realize we can be blind to our own problems, we can be blind to our own culture, or we can be blind to things if that's just the way we've always done it, and not realize that sometimes technology has changed or things have advanced and there's new ways of getting something done more efficiently? Isn't it good to have a fresh pair of eyes on these situations?
Yeah, I think it's great to have a second set of eyes. I think it's great to encourage people to have input into the organization. And I think it's great what you're doing with those little videos, because you're actually maintaining or codifying that institutional knowledge So, if somebody
Making
wins the
people
lottery,
self-sufficient.
yeah, if somebody wins the lottery and that person leaves, you're still gonna be able to function, right?
Exactly. Exactly.